Is New Year's really the best time to make a resolution? Well, maybe.
Welcome to the podcast. Here's your host, Craig T. Owens.
I was looking at a graphic of the most common New Year's resolutions that people were planning to make in 2024. As you can see from this list, it's a pretty healthy list. It's all about getting healthier in different areas, like in the finances or in personal health or even in mental health. Those are all very worthy things to aspire towards. But I wonder, why is it that we feel like we need to make them on New Year's Day? Why do they need to be New Year's resolutions? Especially because we find out how many people end up bailing on their resolutions in just a couple of weeks. Well, let me share a couple of thoughts with you on this. First of all, I don't like to make New Year's resolutions just because it's New Year's Day. I may not be ready for it on New Year's Day. What I need to do is pay attention to, when am I excited about making the change? When am I the most motivated about making the change? No, it could be that it's January 1st, but it might be March 12th. It might be November 17th. It might be December 30th. We don't need to wait for an arbitrary date and say something magical is going to happen on that day. Let's just do it today. If we feel motivated today, let's do it. Now, the reason why we need that motivation is because there is an important principle you need to remember. It goes like this. Most people don't change anything until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. So think about that list we just looked at. Somebody might say, well, I feel the pain of poor financial choices, or I feel the pain of not exercising right or having the right diet, or whatever those things may be that we want to change. Okay, so there's a certain pain in that, but there's going to be a pain in changing it as well. It's going to feel awkward. It's going to feel different. It's going to feel so unusual that we're not going to want to stay with it. So that's why we wait until we're motivated. And maybe January 1st, it may be another day. When do I feel like now I'm ready to go? But then I need to prepare myself. There's going to be some pain. So let's take that top thing on the list. It was getting into a more healthy financial space. Remember, the pain of changing is going to be there. There is going to be a pain. So let's try to minimize the amount of pain. So what I would suggest is, if you're going to make a change, say what was on that list of getting healthier financially, let's not come up with a whole list of things that we're going to change financially. Let's maybe just change one thing to start off with. Maybe something like, I don't know, I'm not going to eat out as often. Maybe you put a specific number to it. I'm only going to eat out, get fast food or eat in a restaurant X number of times per week. Maybe you're going to start there. Now, most doctors, psychologists will tell you that it takes at least 21 days for it to become a new habit. Maybe if we target a month, a full month of doing that. And if you tell yourself up front, okay, I'm going to make this one change and it's going to be uncomfortable for probably a month. And then at the end of the month, you can say, hey, you know what? I can do this. I did just fine with this. And now maybe you say, now there's a second thing I want to change in my finances. Or maybe you say, well, that was good for that. Here's something I want to change for my physical health. Do it in small increments. Now, listen, because it feels painful, because it feels awkward, you are going to want to bail on it. There are going to be days that you mess up, or weeks that you mess up. Oh, I did my eating out more times than I thought. Don't just say, well, that's it, game over. Just say, I messed up that week, or I didn't follow through that time, but I'm going to keep on going. I'm going to keep on pressing through. So just know that you are going to probably make a mistake. It's going to feel awkward all along the way, but it is going to get better. Now think about this. If I can stick with something for 1 month and I can see some measurable improvement at the end of that month, then in the second month, if I add something new and I stick with that one, and then in the third month, I add something and, it just doesn't go very well for me. And I decide I bit off a little bit more than I can chew. So I'm going to go to something else. And then I switch to something else. Just think about that. At the end of the year, you might have 8, 9, 10, 11 different habits, new things that you're doing, new improvements. Don't look for one thing or a whole long list of things that you can fire off right at the beginning and make massive changes. Just find the one thing. Be prepared for the pain, then stick with it. You can do this. And if you take it in small increments, small bite-sized pieces, I think you'll see by the end of the year how much improvement you've actually made.
Contact Craig and keep up with his blog posts, books, and other videos at craigtowens.com.